Ever wonder why your home feels more crowded than it used to, even though you haven't added anything new? You know, as we get older, it's funny how the stuff in our homes can start to pile up. Old chairs, stacks of papers, things we've kept just in case. I used to think holding on to everything was normal, but over the years, I've learned it can weigh us down more than we realize. Hi, I'm your name, and at 68, I've spent decades figuring out what really matters in a home and what doesn't. In this video, I'm sharing 7 household items you should declutter before you hit 70. These aren't just about making space. They're about making your days easier, safer, and honestly, a lot more peaceful. Stick with me, because by the end, you'll wish you'd done this years ago, and you'll have some simple steps to get started. Item number 1, broken or unused furniture. Do you have a chair or table in your house that no one sat on in years? My friend Tom, he's 72, had this old recliner in his living room that was a real eyesore. Lumpy cushions, creaky springs, the works. It belonged to his dad, so he couldn't bear to part with it, even though no one, not even the grandkids, would sit in it. Tom's a big guy, and over the years his knees started giving him trouble. One day he was shuffling to open the window blinds, tripped over that darn recliner, and nearly took a tumble. He caught himself on the wall, thankfully, but he sat down right after, rubbed his leg, and said, "You know, I'm tired of dodging this thing." That was his wake-up call. He told me how he'd spent years dusting around it, squeezing past it to get to the couch, and it hit him. This wasn't honoring his dad. It was making his life harder. So, he called his son to help haul it out, and they donated it to a local shelter. The next time I visited, his living room looked twice as big, and he was grinning ear to ear, saying how he could finally walk a straight line to the TV without playing obstacle course. Old furniture like that doesn't just take up space, it's a sneaky little trap. As we get older, moving around gets trickier. Maybe your hips stiffen up, or your balance isn't what it used to be. A bulky chair or wobbly table can turn a simple trip to the kitchen into a hazard, and who needs that? Plus, cleaning around it takes energy we'd rather save for something fun, like a walk with a friend. The fix is simpler than you think. Take a good look at what's in your rooms and ask, when's the last time this got used? If it's been months or years, it's time to let it go. Donate it if it's decent. Someone else might love it. If it's broken, call your town's pickup service. Lots of places do free bulk trash days. You can even get a neighbor to help if lifting's tough. Once it's gone, you'll feel like you've got a new house. Try rearranging what's left. Maybe move a lamp closer to your favorite chair. It's amazing how much lighter your space and your mood can feel. Item number 2, clothes that don't fit anymore. When's the last time you opened your closet and actually wore everything in there? I used to have this sweater, bright red, wool, my absolute favorite back in my 50s. I'd wear it to every winter party, feeling sharp as a tack. But at 68, it's a different story. It's shrunk, or maybe I've grown, and squeezing into it makes my shoulders ache like I've been hauling firewood. I kept it anyway, stuffed in the back of my closet, thinking, one day, I'll fit into it again. Wishful thinking. My niece came over last Christmas, all of 30 and full of sass, and spotted it while helping me hang coats. She pulled it out, held it up, and laughed. "Auntie, this isn't you anymore. You're cozier in that cardigan you've got on now." She was right. I hadn't worn it in a decade, and it was just sitting there, mocking me every time I opened the door. I started digging deeper and found more. Slacks from my office days that pinched my waist, a heavy coat I hadn't worn since my joints started complaining about the cold. It wasn't just the sweater, it was a whole wardrobe of maybes I didn't need. So I grabbed a couple bags, sorted what I actually wear now, soft stuff, easy to slip on, and took the rest to a church drive. Seeing those bags go felt like dropping a load off my shoulders, literally. Clothes that don't fit or feel good anymore aren't just clutter, they're a daily frustration waiting to happen. Mornings are tough enough with creaky joints or tired eyes. Wrestling with a too tight shirt doesn't help. And let's be honest, our bodies change. Maybe your hips widened or your arms don't lift like they used to. That's okay. Here's what works. Pull everything out, one drawer at a time, and try it on. If it pinches, tugs, or you haven't worn it in a year, set it aside. Keep what fits your life now. Soft fabrics, stretchy waists, Things that don't fight you. Donate the rest. Shelters love sweaters and coats, especially in winter. If it's sentimental, like my red sweater, snap a photo first. Memories don't need hanger space. Then, organize what's left. Hang your favorites where you can see them. Fold the rest neatly. Add a little basket for socks or scarves if your drawers are tight. You'll be amazed how fast you can get dressed when your closet's not a museum of what used to be. It's about comfort now, not clinging to yesterday. Item number 3, expired medications. Have you checked your medicine cabinet lately and noticed bottles older than your grandkids? My neighbor Betty, she's 66, is one of those folks who keeps everything just in case. Last summer, I was over for tea, and she was rummaging for some aspirin after a long day gardening. She opened her bathroom drawer, and out came this avalanche: pill bottles, a crusty tube of cream, even a bottle of cough syrup dated 2015. She laughed. "Oh, this is from my knee surgery ages ago." I asked why she still had it, and she shrugged. What if I need it again? A few weeks later, she had a cold and almost took that syrup until she saw the label and called her doctor. He told her straight, expired meds can lose their kick, and some turn risky, like antibiotics that break down funny. Betty's eyes went wide. She hadn't thought of that. She spent an afternoon sorting it all, and I helped her bag up the old stuff. She found painkillers from a decade back, allergy pills she didn't need anymore since her hay fever eased up, and a mystery prescription she couldn't even remember taking. By the end, she had half a grocery bag to drop off at the pharmacy, and she said, "I feel like I dodged a bullet." Now, she checks her stash every 6 months, and her cabinet's just the essentials, no more surprises. Old meds aren't just clutter, they're a gamble we don't need to take. As we age, we rely on what works now, not some dusty bottle from years ago. Expired stuff might not help when you're achy or sneezing, and in rare cases, it could mess with your system. Why chance it? Here's how to tackle it. Set aside 20 minutes, grab a bag, and check every label. If it's past the date, out it goes. Pharmacies often have free disposal bins, so call yours. Don't flush them, that's bad for the water. Keep what's current, like your blood pressure pills or arthritis cream, and write the month you opened them on the bottle with a marker. Helps you track next time. If you're unsure about a prescription, ask your doctor, don't guess. Add a small box in your cabinet for basics, bandages, a thermometer, so it's not a jumble. You'll sleep better knowing what's there is safe and ready when you need it. It's not just tidying, it's taking care of yourself. Item number 4, piles of old papers. Do you ever lose something important because it's buried in a stack of old mail? I'll confess, I was a paper hoarder. I had this box under my desk, receipts from a couch I bought in 1998, warranties for a toaster I tossed years ago, even a manual for a VCR, of all things. It was my just-in-case pile, and it grew like a weed. My son came over when I turned 70, looking for my insurance card after a doctor's visit, and we couldn't find it. He started digging through that box, pulled out a faded electric bill from 2005 and said, "Mom, why are you keeping this museum?" I laughed, but he was right. It was ridiculous. I'd been shoving junk in there for decades, thinking I might need it someday. Then I remembered a friend who lost a tax refund because she couldn't find one form in her mess. That spooked me, so I got serious. I sat down with a cup of tea, a shredder, and some trash bags. It took a weekend, but I found my insurance card, shredded old bank statements, and recycled a stack of catalogs I'd never ordered from. By the end, I had one slim folder for essentials, tax stuff, medical records, and the rest was gone. My son high-fived me, and I felt like I'd won a prize. No more panic when I need something fast. Paper clutter isn't just a mess, it's a stress bomb. Digging through piles for a bill or a doctor's note when your eyes aren't sharp or your patience is thin. That's no fun. And as we get older, keeping track of what matters, like Medicare papers, gets more important. Here's the plan. Once a month, sit with your papers. Get a shredder, cheap ones work fine, and trash bags. Toss junk mail right away. You don't need that cruise flyer from 2019. Shred old statements. Banks keep records online now. Keep essentials, last year's taxes, current insurance, a will, in a labeled folder or small fireproof box if you've got one. Scan stuff you're iffy about. Your phone can do it free with an app. Unsubscribe from catalogs. Call or check their website. It cuts the flood. Set up a little mail spot, a tray by the door, so it doesn't pile up. You'll save hours and headaches, and next time you need that one paper, it'll be right where you left it. It's like giving your brain a break. Item number 5, kitchen gadgets you never touch. How many gadgets in your kitchen are just collecting dust instead of helping you cook? My cousin Ed, he's 69, is a gadget guy, or was. He bought this fancy juicer years ago after watching some health show, swearing he'd make fresh orange juice every morning. 5 years later, it was still in the box, hogging half his counter, while he grumbled about not having space for his coffee pot, the one thing he actually uses. I teased him about it at a family picnic, and he admitted he'd tried it once, hated cleaning it, and gave up. But that wasn't all. His drawers were a jungle, 3 spatulas, a rusty peeler, a waffle iron he got as a gift and never plugged in. Last winter, he was making soup, reached for a ladle, and knocked over a stack of unused baking tins. He cursed, laughed, and said, "Enough's enough." He spent a snowy afternoon sorting it all, kept his pots, a good knife, and that coffee pot. Everything else went, juicer to his daughter, extras to a thrift shop. Next time I saw him, he was beaming, counter clear, soup simmering, no chaos. He said, "I forgot how much I like cooking when it's not a wrestling match." Now he's got space to chop veggies without shoving stuff aside, and his hands, stiff from arthritis, don't fight a crowded drawer. Unused kitchen gadgets turn a meal into a hassle, especially when your grip's weaker or bending's a chore. Why wrestle with a bread maker you used once when you just want toast? Here's how to fix it. Open every cabinet and drawer. Pull out what you haven't touched in a year. Be ruthless. If it's a duplicate, like that third whisk, or a dusty appliance, set it aside. Keep what you use weekly, a skillet, a spoon, your mug collection. Donate the rest, church sales, love gadgets, or give them to family. Kids starting out need pots. Clean what stays. A damp cloth keeps dust off. Organize smart, put heavy stuff low, light stuff high, so your back doesn't complain. Add a hook for your favorite spoon if reaching's hard. You'll cook faster, clean easier, and maybe even enjoy it more. A kitchen's for living, not storing. Item number 6, dusty decorations you've outgrown. Are there knickknacks on your shelves that you don't even notice anymore? My sister-in-law Joan, she's 71, used to love decorating. Every shelf had something: porcelain figurines, little glass birds, a brass candlestick from her mom. They were gifts or finds from flea markets. And back in her 50s, they made her house feel lively. But last year, she called me over to help move a couch, and I saw her wincing as she dusted those things. "I spend more time cleaning them than enjoying them," she said, rubbing her lower back. Her kids had grown up, her style had softened, but those trinkets stayed, collecting cobwebs. I had my own version, a shelf of old vases I'd picked up traveling. Pretty once, but now they just stared at me while I vacuumed around them. Joan decided to change things. She picked her 3 favorite pieces, a bird her husband gave her, a figurine from her first grandkid, and packed the rest. She sold some at a yard sale, gave others to her niece, and suddenly her living room felt airy. I followed her lead, kept one vase for flowers, donated the rest. We laughed about it later over coffee. She said, "I didn't realize how much I'd stopped seeing them." Now her place feels like her, not a museum, and she's got energy for gardening instead of dusting. Decorations you've outgrown don't just clutter, they steal your time and strength. Bending to wipe them when your back's stiff, or sneezing from dust when your allergies flare. It's not worth it. Here's the trick. Walk around your house with a box. Pick up each piece. Does it still make you smile? Keep a few that do, maybe one per room, and let the rest go. Sell them online if they're worth something. eBay's easy with a grandkid's help. Donate what's left. Libraries or senior centers might take them. Dust what stays with a long-handled duster, no bending. Rearrange your space. Move a chair to catch the sun instead of a shelf. If you miss something, swap it back in later. You'll love how fresh your home feels, and you'll free up time for what matters, like a good book or a chat with a friend. It's your space. Make it yours again. Item number 7, boxes of faded photos or keepsakes. Do you have a box of old photos or mementos you haven't opened in years? My old pal Harold, he's 67, was the sentimental type. Under his bed, he had 3 boxes, snapshots from the 80s, ticket stubs from ball games, a tiny spoon from his daughter's first birthday. He'd lug them out every move, saying, "These are my life." Then last spring, his basement flooded after a big rain. I helped him salvage what we could, and those boxes were a soggy mess, photos stuck together, ink running off cards. He sat there, holding a warped picture of his old dog, and said, "I hadn't looked at this in 10 years. Why'd I keep it buried?" It broke his heart, but it also woke him up. He didn't need all that to remember his dog or his daughter's smile. We dried what we could, and he got picky, kept his wedding photo, a letter from his dad, a few clear shots of the kids. The rest? He took phone pics of them, blurry or not, and let them go. He gave some trinkets to his grandkids, who thought they were treasures, and trashed the rest. Next time I saw him, he had a little frame on his desk with that wedding shot, and he said, "That's enough. I carry the rest up here," tapping his head. It was freedom, not loss. Keepsakes are tough. We feel like we're betraying the past if we let go. But when they're just rotting in boxes, they're not honoring anything. They're stressing us out, especially if storage is tight or leaks happen. Try this. Pick one box at a time. Sort with a cup of tea and a friend if it's emotional. Keep what sparks joy. Frame a photo, display a medal, and photograph the rest before tossing or donating. Use your phone or a cheap scanner. Digital copies don't fade. Give meaningful stuff to family. Kids love old letters. Store what stays in a small, waterproof bin. Hardware stores have them cheap. Check it yearly. Memories shift. You'll find the real treasures aren't the things. They're the stories in your heart. Clear that space, and you'll feel unburdened, ready for today. There you go, 7 things you can declutter to make your home lighter and your days a little brighter. But this is just the start. If you enjoyed these ideas, check out my next video on 3 easy ways to organize your space after 65. Perfect if stiff hands make tidying tricky. Links right here. Before you head off, let me know in the comments, which of these 7 surprised you most? I'd love to hear from you. It keeps me inspired. And if this hit home for you, I'd love to keep sharing. Hit subscribe and the bell so we can chat again soon. Thanks for hanging out with me today.